Welcome to the arena.
Welcome to a impromptu
Onyx Arena number 2.
Typically, we save these arenas for, moments in which we have disagreements. I will venture to say that this is a little less antagonistic than the previous arena.
Shucks.
Yeah, because there is, I can see both sides personally to this. He only sees one side. I see both in this particular case. However, there's an intent of a card, and there is let's say, a non-intent of a card, the way a card is written sometimes. And the non-intent of the card that we're going to talk about today, there are two cards actually.
Yeah, let's show them the cards today.
Can you
Well,
show
there's
the
more
board?
than that. There's a couple other cards that do
There
that
are,
too.
but we're going to show two variants of a similar card. If you
We were
can show the
playing-
board, it would be a little easier.
We were playing Shadow Cell versus Razor Corp, and so these are the two cards.
And
that
we
were
played both of those cards in the
questions.
game.
Yeah.
So in the online game, Max Shelling and Violent Deceiver do the same thing essentially in their own way. One's bringing community cards, 3 community cards directly to the board and place them in their starting position. Okay? I'll take that one. So that would be their starting positions. Okay? The argument or disagreement today is, can you place this over here because that is its starting position? Well, technically speaking, Steven says, yes, you can do that. I say, well, maybe. And the reason I say that is, if you want to generally play the rule in that particular way, I guess from a verbiage standpoint you could. But the intent of the card, and my argument is going to be that when I play this card, it's telling me I'm playing this in their starting position, and the intent is the starting position for the card I just played for my faction. His starting position would be here for me. This starting position would be here for me. And this starting position would be here for me. Now, the card doesn't say your starting position, so technically, Steven's going to argue that over here would be the case. All right? And you want to read it?
Bring the
Okay.
rules in.
So bring the rule in and say, what does the starting position
Starting
say?
position, the metallic header of the card directs you where to place your card
Your card.
to begin each round.
Right.
So
Where do
that's when
place?
you select it as your starting
That's right.
card.
Your card during your
Yeah.
round.
So
My starting position during my round is
Is your
not
recruits.
here.
I can
There is never a time in which I can start this card here.
No, because you pick it to your recruits.
That's
but
right.
during a faction play, it's not your starting card. So then it's just
It's
recruits.
not your starting card.
That's
but
the
it's,
starting position.
But it's what's its starting position for you, your faction, when you play. Because back to what is the starting position? The starting position is the metallic header that directs you to where to place your card to begin each round. I cannot place ever this card over here in its starting position. Cannot do it. I cannot do it. You can, and so if you play Max Shelling, of course, he can start there for you. But he can't start there for me. So if I played this card, and it says, choose up to 3 afterlife cards and place them in their normal starting position. Well, the normal starting position for me would be here, not here.
But it depends. It's either recruits because it's depending on who takes
That's
it.
right. So if you
Just
play this
because I'm
card,
playing it,
if
it
you
doesn't
play that
say-
card, that's your starting position, as the rule states.
It's not because the card's starting position is labeled here. I'm not taking it as
Oh,
a
no,
starting
no.
card.
Listen, I agree with you. I agree. This is why I say I can see both sides on this particular issue.
So neither way to play it would be wrong.
Neither way to play it would be necessarily wrong, except for the fact that I think he's still wrong. No,
So the answer
honestly, you could. Here's the. Let's be fair. Since we write the rules and we have to adjudicate this in the way that it should be, because we have to have an official rule on this. If it's up to me in this official ruling, I would declare it as the starting position. Because the card is already giving you 3 cards, you have to take the negative with it. If we wanted to say, remember how in some cards we say, for example,
Well, that'll be in future.
Hold on.
When you say on your side of the board on the card also. That'll solve that.
No, in a future release, we could
In a
always
future
say
release,
that.
yes.
But let's take a card that I cannot find, one that kills something. I'm just looking for a kill card. You have you have all the Razor Blade cards. Let's look at the old school, a couple different variations of this similar card.
Yeah, and they specify your recruits
That's
or
right.
opponent's recruits.
They
Here,
do.
It's saying recruits. Yeah, so it's going to recruits.
So
It doesn't
kill and
specify
restore
your
says
side.
kill one recruit. In this case, we're debating which side it is. If we wanted to, what we would say instead of starting position on this, we could say your starting position. However,
starting position.
position is declared as your starting position by default in the rules. That's the thing. I
But it
understand.
says their starting position.
In their starting position.
Yeah, so this card's starting position is recruit.
Right, and
It's not clarifying just because it's your turn.
I don't disagree with you on that. Again, I would probably play it that way in general if I chose to. If I said, okay, we'll play that card that way, I wouldn't have a problem with
I
doing
think
it.
you just have to say on your side of the board at the end of it. If you really
Yeah.
wanted to make it clear, you just have to toss
Yeah.
that at the end.
Well, this one, for example, doesn't even exist anymore because the new version doesn't even say do not play the move, draw, faction actions because
Yeah.
that's part of the rule. So that's gone from that card to begin with in the new version. But what we haven't done is we haven't made it specific. So I venture to say, and I agree, that we would need to clarify it, but the intent of the cards were you have to take the negative that comes with the fact that you're getting 3 cards to your side of the board. Just like Katana has a negative to taking 3, you have to give them 1 if it's over 20 points. If this one comes out, you have to place them on your side of the board for your starting positions because that's what a starting position is. You never have a starting position on the opponent's side. So when you play it, it's their normal starting position. When I play it, it's the normal starting position for me. That's what the intent of the card was. I don't disagree. I mean, I can't argue the point that it could be played the other way. So, could it be? Yeah, I think it could be. But I disagree with it.
Well,
Right.
he disagrees, but he can't disagree.
No, I can't disagree on you can't disagree on
the
some
wording.
verbiage. For example, let's go to another one we've had talks about the Oracle. This one I actually agree with you on. Even though we never played it the way it's written, which is place a card face down. At the end of the game, draw 2 community cards, place in recruits. Choose 1 card and double its value. It doesn't say that the 2 cards you draw have to be one of those cards. So in this case, because it is really clear that it's not that specific to those 2 cards, you can choose any card and double its value, basically. So it becomes a lot more powerful that way. But then again, we've seen
It
it.
is legendary.
It's
And if
legendary.
you think about it.
No, it's not. It doesn't require thinking. It requires numbers.
Yeah.
The numbers actually bear out that it's okay to double a card on your side of the board
Any
and
card.
still be a legendary card with those 2 cards. So
Yeah.
the numbers are fine.
The max you could do would be draw a 15 and a 14 and double the 15. So it would max be 44 points.
Which is still the same. It's still the same. At the end of the day, you just get more options.
Yeah.
So in this case, I would agree that that card can be played that way. And these, I could say you could play it in their normal starting position if you choose to play it because it says recruits, and it would be the normal starting position. Again, that wasn't the intent of the card, so, if you want to play it that way, I guess you can.
Guess you win some, you lose some, right? So who wins today?
I already
I think
said
it's a draw.
I think it's a
It's a
draw
draw?
because
Okay.
I said I can't. We're gonna show the disagreement with the caveat that
Yeah.
I see both sides. I cannot argue against playing it that way because technically it does, but the intent was its normal starting position on your side of the board.
So now we'll have 1 draw, and then Steven has 1 victory from the last one. So he's got 1. You got a draw. Now we need you to.
Yeah. I'm sure that everyone watching this would totally agree with you. I think there is one person out there. His name is Captain something.
Dennis Captain.
Captain Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
Probably Dennis from. I think Dennis is from Russia.
Mm.
Nah, it's a different Dennis. I know you, Dennis. It's not you. I promise you. It was Captain Steven. That's what his name was. Is there any other disagreements that we can have while we're here? Because we have a couple more minutes to disagree.
I feel like y'all
Do we have anything else on our list, maybe? No? We've knocked everything out?
Nah, I mean, right now there's just nothing else. So we'll agree to disagree on this one, and we'll call it a night.
All right.
Or midday, whatever you want to call it.
Well, again, I don't think we disagree. I think we agree in principle, but the online game doesn't have to change, basically.
Right.
We
Because
just need to change the text on that one to say
we
on your
just say
side.
the change because we're going to make the online game do that because we can change the text. So it's kind of a draw in that we're going to make the online game do exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
But on the offline game,
You can
it's
do
more
either way.
open for interpretation.
There is no interpretation.
Sure, it is.
You just read the starting position and put the card there.
The interpretation still goes back to the starting position here.
Yeah.
This is considered the starting position, the place you begin each round. So it's still saying
When you begin each round.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, tell me this: when you begin the round, please place that in its starting position.
Okay.
Okay, there
Boom.
it is. That's this card's starting position. Case
Okay.
solved.
Now,
Done.
where would you start it?
If the starting position,
Yeah.
I would have to start it here. It's the starting position.
So it's recruits either way.
No.
What do you know?
It's my faction. I'm playing a faction card saying place in its normal starting position. For me, this is my faction.
Correct, but it doesn't say
What if I had a
whose
black mirror
normal
down with a
starting
red
position.
card on my opponent's recruit?
Just because I'm playing a
Then it would
card,
end up in the right place.
just because I am playing the card doesn't mean that it has to go to my starting position.
Why does it say you can place in any player's starting position? Does
No,
say
it
that?
doesn't say you may only play in your starting position. It just says starting position.
But
which
starting
is,
position we've already referred to the rule. Starting position says where you place the card in its starting position.
for
You.
Yeah, for either player.
For both players,
Yeah.
you place him on your side of the board.
correct.
So that would be
That's
its
the starting position.
It would be its starting position.
It is.
For you, so when you place it in its normal starting position. It's talking to me. Hey, I'm Violent Deceiver.
But it
I'm
doesn't-
going to talk to you. You are my faction guy.
We've already agreed. But either way, it doesn't
No.
specify for you or the opponent.
It doesn't specify for the opponent. If anything, we should be saying you can also place it on the opponent's side in their starting position. That's what we should do if you want it to go to that side of the board. It's so kind of irrelevant because there's 6 cards in the entire game that could end up on that side of the
Yeah.
board anyway. So maybe not with Violent Deceiver and negative cards. This is way more important in the online game than it is in the offline game. Because the online game could have a completely different thing with all those big negative cards, right?
Correct.
So I think it's better for in the online game that you can't place it on the other
I
side.
can agree with you.
Because it's too powerful at that
Yeah.
point. All right. Well, thank you guys. That was a very interesting Onyx.
Hey, that's how you start your position, man.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all later.
Peace.